What's that?
Hello and welcome to the Chapter 3, Section 4, Part 2 video. I'm Mrs. Erling, and with me today are Mr. Knox and Mrs. Kim. And remember, you should be on pages 102 to 107 of your textbook. So in the previous slide of the first PowerPoint, we talked about passive transport. Now we're talking about active transport. So sometimes a cell needs to take in a substance that is present in lower concentrations outside the cell. They do this by using their own energy, ATP or adenosine triphosphate. So active transport moves molecules in the opposite direction than they naturally move by diffusion. Special proteins in the cell membrane pick up molecules outside the cell and bring them in. And we can see this happening in this picture over here.
Okay, here's another diagram of the cell. Here is the cell membrane. This is the outside of the cell and inside of the cell. On this left side, we see some molecules that are colored in purple. You can see that there are more of them on the outside than the inside, so we call this high concentration, and we call this area low concentration. So we know that these molecules want to naturally go to where there is less so that they can even it out. That's called passive transport. It just happens naturally without using any extra energy. On this side, we see a lot more molecules on the inside than the outside. So here's higher concentration inside of the cell and lower concentration on the outside. So you would think that these molecules want to come out of the cell, and that would be considered passive transport. But sometimes the cell needs to bring in more even though they have higher concentration on the inside. So what they'll do is they'll use these transport protein doors, and they will grab it and bring it in. And when they do this, they need to use their extra stored energy that they have to do this. Active use energy. So they bring in things like calcium, potassium, and sodium into and out of the cell, and they need to use their energy, and each protein door looks for a particular substance that they need and will bring it in or take it out.
Miss Kim and Miss Erling did a wonderful job talking about active and passive transport. What I need you guys to do right now is pause the video and please review the difference between active and passive transport. Alright, you should have reviewed the difference between active and passive transport. Make sure you guys know this for a test and for a quiz. Alright, sometimes a cell is much too large, sometimes a substance is much too large to get through the cell membrane. So what a cell has to do is engulf this body, and it engulfs it by surrounding it. Then eventually the cell membrane will pinch together, and now that organism or that body is located within that cell. You guys can see it right here. Food molecule surrounded by that membrane. So this is engulfing. All right, are there any questions? If so, make sure you ask your teacher the next day when you see her or him. Thank you so much for watching.